Welcome to the On Track Sessions. We're joined here today by singer-songwriter Jacob Terry. We just had a session in the studio. How's it going, mate?
I feel it went really well. You know, we did 5 tracks straight off the bat with no breaks, really.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you sort of like went straight for it. There was no, oh, we need another take. You were just
Well,
in the pocket, mate, the whole time.
I would like to say I know what I do, but that was a pure miracle at that point.
So I suppose it's no different to like playing a gig. Like, I mean, you've played hundreds of gigs now, is it?
Oh, yeah, at least. I mean, between the bands I was in over the last kind of 6 years or so and doing solo stuff in between that, you know, I don't think I've stopped since.
I think I first met you, I think you came in. You were playing bass, I think.
Yeah,
With Joe, was it?
Yeah, so I was depping for One Man Boycott for bass at the time. It was really nice to be involved in something like that. And bless him, Joe is a lovely guy. You know, he really knows what he's doing.
Oh, I remember like watching. I was watching on the monitors there. I was thinking, bloody hell, that bass player's energetic because you were like jumping around and fully
Honestly,
going for it, dude.
So I've been following Joe musically pretty much since he started Boycott, and it was one of my like coming into music properly. It was one of my like dreams to be a part of Boycott. And you know, I got to experience that, and that was really cool. You know, a lot of people dream big with their bands, but being in the local scene was just amazing.
Were you rehearsing for a tour then? Did you
Yeah,
go on
so
tour with him?
we did a like mini local tour where we played a couple of gigs, which it was great fun. But then he got confirmation that he was able to do a much bigger tour. And with a little one at home, I didn't want to commit to that and, you know, leave them home alone for like a month or whatever it was.
Wow. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
You know, it would have been a great opportunity if I wanted to stay full time with Boycott, but as it stood, I wanted to pursue my own stuff more prominently.
Yeah. Cool. So, do you like? From playing in bands and that to go into the solo stuff, do you prefer playing on your own, not having to sort of worry about five other dudes?
I mean, when it comes to playing covers, I loved playing in a band at the time. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to say, oh, can we drop this couple of keys? You know, if I'm having an off day with my vocal, or oh, I want to try a different harmony tonight. It was very much just play the songs, get it done. Same sort of thing each time. Whereas solo, I can just go, oh, you know, I fancy playing Culture Club. I fancy playing Queen. I fancy playing ABBA.
Yeah. Mate, everybody loves ABBA. They say they don't, but they do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the dad jokes for you, mate.
Dad jokes. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, I love being able to just kind of, even between the same day, if I've got multiple gigs on, I could go, oh, I'm going to play Dancing Queen in D sharp, and then go, actually, it works better in C sharp. And I could go from one gig to the next and find the right key for that moment, kind of thing.
And is there a process when you're picking covers? Is there a process to finding the right key to play them in, or do you kind of like start in the actual key and go from there, or how does it work?
I tend to start in the original key unless I know that I can't hit it. For example, Queen, "Somebody to Love," which is one of the songs I may or may not have done. You know, it's originally in I think D sharp or E, and when I first tried it, I was doing it with a capo on the 4th fret and playing it in a C shape, which didn't seem right to me. You know, it felt too open and too felt too closed and too isolated in the way I was playing it. It felt very samey to a lot of other songs I play. Thought it was the key, went through probably about 5 different keys just trying to work it out, and then went, what if I just played it differently in the same key? So I ended up doing an E on the 7th like A shape, with open high E and B, and went through that and went, oh, that's all I needed to do.
Yeah.
Which, it's great learning that, but at the same time, it was
I
such
suppose
a pain in the bum.
sometimes like changing the key in that, sometimes it can make it more difficult to play. But I suppose it's what makes
Sometimes it's a case of making it easier to play but harder to sing. Sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes it's finding the middle ground between the two so that it's not too strenuous, but it's not too fiddly. Sometimes it's making it sound less like some of the other songs you play. For instance, I play I'm Yours by Jason Mraz between G sharp and A, depending on my mood. But then I've got A-Team by Ed Sheeran, which I tend to play them both back to back. And it tends to be that Ed Sheeran will be G or G sharp. And so sometimes there are gigs where I play them both in G sharp, and you kind of have to space them out if you do that, because otherwise you're just blending songs.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of that, I play Good Riddance, Time of Your Life by Green Day and Ziggy Stardust. And I tend to finish Good Riddance on the D rather than the G, and then come straight into Ziggy Stardust, and that tends to go all right because they're different musically.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, you've got a lot of covers. How do you go about choosing your set list and then peppering in your original stuff, or do you sort of separate your originals from the covers?
It depends on the venue for a lot of it.
Yeah.
For instance, Escape Down the Rabbit Hole, I'm happy playing covers and originals because I host an open mic there on Thursdays. I kind of get a feeling for what originals go down well in that venue.
Yeah. You've been doing that for a long time now.
Yeah, I actually took it over from Joe. I think last year, just after the summer. And I feel like we've got a decent following now.
You're consistent, aren't you? So
yeah,
that's a lot of it.
That's kind of my priority, is being consistent and being a friendly, open space. Really, make sure that everyone's feeling like they could play their worst set and still feel good about it.
Yeah. Well, they were a welcoming bunch. Me and Darren came in.
Yeah, and, that was a great night, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played the closing set, and
yeah.
Oh,
Darren had a few to drink. Bless him.
You kind of have to if you're doing the closing set.
Well,
don't
you?
Yeah,
exactly that. How was your gig at the Palladium? You did an evening.
Oh,
with
I did an evening with Jacob Terry Acoustic. I played 3 sets. I think 28 to 32 songs was kind of the rough area of original music that I played. No covers. You got 32 songs. Wow. And the rest, mate. That was just the ones that were live ready. I've got
Oh,
some that are just
dude.
studio friendly, or they weren't quite good enough to play until I had done some more work on them.
That's
that
pretty
kind of
impressive, though. I mean, 30. I mean, how long was that? That's got to have been a good 3 hours.
It was 3 or 4 hours overall. I must admit, just before the second set, I wrote down some cheat sheets on some of the unreleased material because I'd been practicing, and I realised that I hadn't actually memorised any of them.
Right. Well, I mean, from what I heard, it was a great night, and if you held the audience there for all that time, fair play, man.
I was charging 3 on the door, and I came away comfortable, which is a nice treat when you're playing all original music, because sometimes you expect people to just go, oh, I don't know this song, or I don't know this guy, or
no.
But no, everyone that went was really vibing it, and that helped. A lot of people actually complimented the unreleased stuff the most.
Oh, brilliant.
Which I found to be a nice treat.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice when people resonate with what you're doing.
Yeah, and Ben, the guy who runs Pally, he came up to me and said that he's got a few ideas, and we actually recorded the sets almost in its entirety. We lost the last song and a half, which was a shame because I really came back strong on that last song. But we may have sorted it, the audio. But yeah, we're looking at what we could possibly do with that later down the line.
Cool. Well, it sounds like it was a good night, and
It was well worth it.
they're
And any musicians that are looking to do an evening with acoustically should definitely get in touch.
brilliant. Have they because he was doing a refurb over there. Has that been done?
No, that's on the back burner at the moment, just because they're waiting for their funding and permissions to come through and stuff.
Cool. Well, it is a cool venue.
Yeah, it really is. Ben's really lovely.
Ben's a nice dude.
Lynn, his mother, is also lovely, bless her.
Yeah. So, what's the evolution of Jacob Terry then? I know you're doing acoustic. You've got a lot of songs. Is there going to be are you going to be looking for members or doing any sort of?
I'm umming and ahhing about it, because on the one hand, being solo, you can change set lists, you can change keys, you can make mistakes and play them off without anyone looking at you funny. But at the same time, if you're in a band, you've got a lot more build up, a lot more power to some of the songs. You can, bring it back so that it's acoustic and then builds up. You can bring members on and off stage. There's so much you can do with a full band. And a lot of the tracks that I've released were lending themselves to at least an acoustic band sound or a full band sound. And some of the ones off the tracks that we've done not today, but maybe today. That we've done, Chaotic especially, we've talked about it lending itself well to a full band vibe.
I was listening to it, I could totally hear, in my head, this would actually be really cool.
If we could get it right, it would be perfect for a full band vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you write with that in mind then, or is that something that...
I write with the idea that I can play it acoustically. It used to be that I wrote to have a full band atmosphere to it, but then I realised that was taking its toll on me when I performed it live. So stuff like my recorded version of Immorality is Underrated, which was on my second EP, was a full band with a riff, really went well. And then I started playing it live more frequently in gigs, and the riff itself, though it's, in my opinion, a great, easy riff to go with, it also didn't lend itself to frequently being played. Because it was just, I was getting so into it that I was getting really sweaty during that one song.
Going for it.
But then, because I've got the energy from it, I would get into the next song and into the next song, to the point where I'd get halfway through a set having played that and be a bit tired and a bit deflated. So I learned to make a live version of it, and it's acoustic vibes and it works. I'd love to be able to play it full band, just to get that energy.
Yeah, that's the thing though. But I mean, there's a lot of energy when you play. So to be fair,
yeah,
I remember the first time I saw you, I think
that was Pig on the Beach for the...
Was it? Oh yeah, it was a Pig on the Beach.
Open mic.
That's right, yeah.
Contest, Battle of the Acoustics.
Battle of the Acoustics, yeah. And I just remember thinking, that dude gets right into it. You know what I mean?
I wanted to make sure that my passion came across, because obviously a gig's a gig, so you need to put the passion in either way. But I had a gig that night. I wanted to make sure that I stood out. And part of me wanted to make it to the finals, knowing I couldn't make it to the finals.
Yeah. Oh, well, you had other commitments though, right?
Yeah, that week I'd been booked to play about 5 or 6 gigs overall, and got the message about playing that gig and undenied about it. And I thought, well, the very end of the day, it's a good opportunity to just showcase myself and, meet you properly and get to talking about music and stuff, because I like being able to meet different musicians, different, musical entities, as it were, and just kind of get a chat log going with everyone.
Yeah,
of just
that's what it's about, isn't it?
Networking, making friends as well. I find networking as a base level is great, but being able to make friends with the people you meet, especially when it comes to people who are like-minded about certain things, or they've got a bit of passion for your own project and they go, I can see this working really well for you. That's just something that you really need as a musician, especially when you're writing a lot of quite heartfelt and deep stuff. Obviously, there are some that are just, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. Ooh.
Yeah.
But there are some that are really mental health orientated or really, passionate. And to hear anyone in the music community go, I resonated with that.
Well, a lot of people
Helps.
can relate to that. I think mental health is a very important issue at the moment.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of musicians struggle with it. Not just the actual self-doubt of being, musicians suffer from crushing self-doubt anyway, and then add that into the mix. When they hear music they relate to, it's special, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not easy to achieve that.
I know of an artist called Aaron West from the Roaring Twenties. Great music. It's a solo project of the lead singer of the Wonder Years. And he basically said that he wanted to make almost a character project for his music. He does personal solo stuff as well, but he wanted to make a character project. And some of the songs in there, you just hear them and you feel the heartbreak he was going through just writing it. Even though it's character, it's heartbreak, and the passion involved in it is something that really resonated with me.
It's cool when you can hear that in music. Sometimes it's not even a specific word or something like that.
Sometimes it's a voice crack or
exactly that.
The energy that's going into it, and you just go, you're really feeling that one.
Is that a local guy then?
No, he American.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Big pop punk band.
Yeah. Speaking of the local scene, though, I don't know about you, but I've kind of noticed in the last sort of 5 years, there's something happening in North Devon.
There's definitely a bit of a rumble going on.
There is. There's a lot of artists that, especially since opening the studio here, I kind of knew there'd be good musicians around, but I wasn't prepared for just how many great ones there were.
There's a lot of acoustic musicians for similar reasons to me, in that they're picky about how they want certain songs to go, or they're nervous about taking their songs and making them full band, or they just don't know how to make the right balance between the two. And so there are a lot of amazing musicians that want to work with other people but are just too nervous about kind of taking that energy. But there's definitely a lot of rumblings going on of a resurgence of the wild music scene that we had a while back. And I for one, am really looking forward to seeing whose gigs I can jump in on.
Yeah. Do you like offer yourself out to people? Like you said, you were doing debt work for Joe, but is there more of that for you, or are you just doing your
I enjoy
bits?
doing it, but with the amount of cover songs I know and the amount of originals I have, it's hard to kind of retain everything. But I enjoy doing debt work when I can. I tend to go for friends above strangers, just because then there's a bit of a healthy balance amount of pressure, that kind of thing. But yeah, I love doing it. It's a great opportunity to get to work with other musicians, maybe hear a riff that you go, actually I could break that down and change it to something I would play, when I do my own music. You get a real learning curve from it.
Yeah, cool. So, what's the future of Jacob Terry then? Where's Jacob Terry 5 years from now?
Playing original music, preferably. I love playing my covers, but my original music is what I want to be doing.
Yeah. Is the ratio going down? Obviously, when you start out, you have to do more covers. Oh, yeah. Simply because I
still do a lot of full cover gigs. That's what a lot of pub goers want to hear. They want to be able to get a bit sozzled and by the end of the night scream along to 500 Miles and Sweet Caroline,
500 Miles. You know what? Every time me and Darren play that at the open mic, without fail.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody.
Yeah, almost the exclusive reason I don't play it as much anymore is because I can't retain the lyrics properly, so I start making them up and being a bit rude. And everyone's drunk and they laugh along, but in my head I'm just going, this video won't be able to be put out, or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
but I mean,
if you're trying to push for promotional material.
Yeah. Get on. Well, it's been nice talking to Jacob, and hopefully we'll see you again in the studio, and I can't wait to see what else you do.
I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah.
mate. Thank you for
Cool.
having me.
No problem. Here's Jacob Terry with This Ghost.
This ghost I cannot hide, but in it I confide, and it holds the ache inside. What's inside of me? Is it fear or is it courage? That's yet to be seen. I need to get myself away, try to find some clarity. Get myself away and try to find some clarity to get me through today. This ghost stands over me, and yet when I try to flee, it brings me to my knees. What's happening to me? Is this normal for my age? Journeys on which I've been. I need to get myself away, try to find some clarity. Get myself away, try to find some clarity to get me through today. To get me through today. To get me through today. Who am I proving myself to? And why am I going through the motions? I'm gonna rise like the dawn of a new day and watch the world pass by. And I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I need to get myself away and try to find some clarity. Get myself away and try to find some clarity. I need to get myself away and try to find some clarity. Get myself away and try to find some clarity to get me through today. Get me through today. Get me through today. So I can see a brand new day.